Hi everyone, and welcome to Tony Fox Tarot. Thanks for joining me today. Great to have you with me. Today's pick a card reading question is, when will I get pregnant? So a big question, and we've got lots to get through, but we're going to break that down by having a look at you and how you think, feel, and experience the idea of becoming pregnant. We'll look at your circumstances and see if there's anything that has a bearing on what's going on. And most importantly, we'll look at a timeline and do a future forecast as to when you will actually get pregnant. Now, before we get started, if you would like to go down below, hit subscribe, tap on the bell icon while you're there. That'll give you notifications for any future readings that I post. Please like and share this video where you can. It'd be great to get me out there far and wide. And if you're interested in the services that I offer as a psychic tarot reader, you can go to www.tonyfoxtarot.com. Plenty of information about who it is that I am, what it is that I do, and how it is that you can access my service as a psychic tarot reader. Now, just importantly, remember that this is a general reading, so take what resonates and just leave behind anything that doesn't. Before you on the screen, we have 5 different cards with 5 different crystals, and the idea is to choose a card with the crystal that resonates with you most strongly, and that will be your reading. Now, it's okay to choose more than one card if that actually feels like a real thing for you, so keep an open mind to what's going on. I just want you to take a moment to really sink into your intuition. Take a nice big deep breath. And as you're letting the breath out, just focus on the cards and the crystals. Which card and crystal has the strongest draw for you? Is it card 1 with the rose quartz, card 2 with the howlite, card 3 with the bluestone, card 4 with the green fluorite, or card 5 with the carnelian? So down below, there are 5 different timestamps representing each of the different cards. And if you would like to go to the card that you chose, I'll be with you in a moment. Hi everyone, this is card number 1. This is the rose quartz. And today's pick a card reading question is, when will I get pregnant? Big question. Let's get the cards straight out and have a look and see what's going on. We've got the Fool, 6 of Pentacles, Magician, King of Wands, Temperance, King of Cups, the Lovers, the 8 of Swords, Sacral Chakra, Communication, Tourmaline. And straight away, I feel that you are in some kind of a relationship with somebody. And I'm drawn down here to the Lovers and the 8 of Swords. I feel that there's been some quite big issues going on between the two of you. You haven't been seeing eye to eye. You're not on the same page. Maybe you're not on the same page about pregnancy. I feel that you feel that this other person is perhaps stopping you from what it is that you're wanting to achieve. They've cornered you into a position that you're unable to get out of. You're feeling suffocated, you're feeling cornered, feeling controlled, manipulated even. It's like they're against you, against what it is you want to achieve, perhaps. There's certainly disagreements between the two of you. And I think the difficulty here is that, you've reached the end of you feel like you've reached the end of a road, and it's become a very psychological process, a real disconnect from how you really feel about this person, because the issue at hand has just really charged you in a way that leads you to feel that perhaps that you need to move on even. Come up here to the Fool and the 6 of Pentacles. I feel that this other person, the 6 of Pentacles is a card about giving and kindness, about balance, but it's coupled with the Fool. And the Fool is a card of new beginnings. It could be a new beginning in terms of the relationship, but one where you're not really prepared to listen in the same way that you were before. Maybe you're thinking, I'm going to do things differently. I'm going to do things my own way. I'm just going to follow my instincts, see where they take me. I'll see what this person has to give, what they're trying to do in terms of rebalancing, you know, the issues at hand. But at the end of the day, I'm not making any promises. There's a real sense of, once again, a real sense of disconnect here. A sense of, I hear you, but I don't need you. And I can see why you don't need anybody else but yourself. You're a really motivated individual. The Magician and the King of Wands, very, very strong cards, very charged cards. A lot of spiritual energy there, but also a lot of physical energy, a lot of drive, a lot of determination. You know how to manifest, you know how to get the job done, and you know how to do it well. You're a professional. Highly focused, very charged. You like to take ownership over what it is that you're actually trying to do, no matter what. And you'll see it through. You'll give it whatever it takes, whatever it needs to achieve those results. And also you're very resourceful. The Magician is a very resourceful individual. He's a creator. You know, he strikes things into action and uses all the tricks of the trade to make things happen. And the King of Swords is a card of professional. It's a professional. It's often a card around work. You know, professional conduct. You know, reaching the top. It's about ambition. But these are full of energy. Both of these cards. I also question whether that also means just in relation to the idea of getting pregnant. Whether you're saying, I don't need the other person. Perhaps I'll just be really resourceful and do whatever it takes to get pregnant. You know, maybe that means, you know, a fertility clinic or a donor or some other way of sort of figuring out how you can go around getting pregnant to achieve. You know, it's like you know what, I'm going to take ownership. If you're not going to give me what it is that I want, I'll take ownership of this and I will do it myself because I know what I want. I'm not going to stop until I get it. If I come over here to Temperance and the King of Cups, I feel that this represents the other person. Excuse me. I feel this represents the other person. They've obviously taken a step back and given you some distance. But they really feel in love with you. This is an evolved... I don't know how long this relationship's going on, but it's sufficient time for this person to have some very, very strongly developed feelings for you. This person loves you. You know, emotional maturity is high, very sensitive individual. Not great at communicating either. Maybe that's also part of the problem. But I think it's also the both of you not great at communicating. I think the both of you both come to loggerhead. You know, you both butt up against each other. Maybe there's a stubbornness there between the two of you. You know, agreeing to disagree over and over and over again. I don't think this is the first issue or the first time that you've both agreed to disagree and been on a completely different page. I think it's actually been a series of disagreements that have possibly culminated into this one particular subject, and it's very charged because it means so much to you. But this person loves you, wants to be with you, and at the same time, they're watching on as you're moving in a slightly different direction. That's more about, it's a little bit more independent, really. So I feel it's touch and go in this connection. Could go one way, or it could go the other way. Now the question is, when will I get pregnant? Okay, and that is based on circumstances, not just about you taking ownership of it and saying this is what I'm going to do. Because at the moment you're in a sort of at a junction, really. You're either in this relationship and actually doing it together, or you're actually out on your own, doing it on your own. Come down here to communication. This is a really beautiful card, but also a really important card. It's a card that arises when communication breaks down at the heart of a relationship. Arguments, mistakes, and conflict occur, and where you refuse to acknowledge the information that's actually coming through, where you refuse to negotiate. And it takes work and effort to improve communication skills. Because sometimes you need to be patient and you need to actively listen to what the other person's saying. But it is putting an emphasis on developing these skills in a way that You're asked to empathize and understand to the people who are closest to you. This person is a listener. I think this person does take on board what it is that your wants and needs are. Or they have. I say he. It could, it feels it's a king. It feels like a masculine energy, but it could be a woman as well. I feel that they're a bit tender about what it is that's happened. They are concerned as to where it's all going, and they are certainly listening to you now. You've got their attention. But a part of what I'm also feeling here is that, there is an obstinance from your perspective, of digging in your heels and refusing to also see things from their position. And I don't think that you've actually backed down from that particular position. And communication is asking you to do that. Tourmaline is a really important card. It's a card of rigid or stagnant negative energy. And a part of digging your heels in and refusing to listen to the other person, that blocks energy. Energy begins to pool. And, a lack of resolution to what's going on here between the two of you builds up a lot of stress and can make things quite soupy. So it's important to cleanse the body, cleanse the mind, especially if you're looking to get pregnant. It's important to cleanse this energy out. Okay, so cleansing diet, healthy diet, but also cleansing the energy that's around you in terms of your environment. You can do that with a smudge stick or some incense or some holy water and clear the energy out, clearing with a clear intent about what it is you're trying to do. Make it a process. If you're with this person and you live together, it's about reconfiguring the energy around you so that it's more supportive for the both of you to begin to communicate in a way that effectively gets you to the next step. Okay. Sacral chakra, another important card. This has an affinity with the ovaries, okay, and it's come up here because there's a sense of losing control, okay. Insecurity has a big impact on fertility, okay. It can have infertility when this particular chakra's out. This is the sacral chakra, so it's around the navel. But it also governs the ability to communicate with people. So communication is really important here. Really, really important. Now, the question is, okay, when will I get pregnant? At the moment, I feel that you're in the throes of just moving things forwards in a direction that's really possibly all about your career and achieving results in terms of what you're looking to do with getting pregnant. And I feel that the relationship has been you've lost sight of where that's all going. I feel that you do actually love this person underneath all of this. I think there's some issues here that aren't necessarily related to what it is that's going on between you and them. Maybe you've had a history of people stopping you from getting what you want, stopping you from making the choices to achieve what it is that you'd like to achieve. Maybe the behaviors of digging in your heels are a part of a process that you've actually learnt to block those people out, because you can't find reconciliation. But I feel that there is an opportunity here for things to rebalance, and I feel over the coming months that this relationship will come back into a sense of connection at a heartfelt level, and I feel that things I feel that there's healing here, and healing does need to take place between the two of you. It's not just about the issue of wanting perhaps to get pregnant. I feel that there are other issues here where you need to open up in a way where you're hearing each other. This person is kind of at that place now. I feel that you've got some work to do to get to that place, but I feel once the two of you are both in balance and you're connected at that particular level, at a heartfelt level, all of these other things will dissipate, and I feel you will actually get pregnant very quickly, because it will no longer be a process of thinking all of this through, talking about it. And at the moment, that's really where it's all stemming from. It's a really heady experience of trying to rationalize what's going on, taking on board other people's opinions, trying to negotiate. Getting pregnant is about a lot of different things from a holistic point of view, okay? And a big part of what that means is actually for the time to be right. but also for you to be connected. Just getting pregnant is sometimes, a way to get pregnant, but for it to happen in a way where you're unified in a relationship, it will expedite the whole process in a way where it cuts out all of this, I guess, anxiety and trauma. Like this, I kind of feel like there's some trauma here that needs to be worked through. Some issues need to be leveled out and healed for yourself in terms of how perhaps previous relationships have arrived you at the same point, as feeling blocked, the breakdowns in communication perhaps. But I feel that there is space over the coming months that things will begin to calibrate in a way where the two of you connect and you do find each other again. And I feel that once that actually happens, within a very short space of time, within a few months, you'll actually get pregnant. I don't feel this is a long, drawn-out experience that it requires planning or negotiating or thinking things through. I think it's actually a natural and very organic process that is not happening right now. And the only way to get to that point is to let your guard down, listen actively to the other person, get back into the heart space, cleanse yourself, get rid of all of that energy that's pulled, all of that negative, toxic energy that's starting to build up. Get rid of all of that, Connect with the other person in a way that it's coming from a very heartfelt space, and I feel that the two of you will progress very quickly on towards pregnancy. Anyway, guys, I hope this reading has made some sense to you, and if it has, please leave some comments down below. It'd be great to get your feedback. Please like and share this video where you can. It'd be great to get me out there far and wide. Hit subscribe, tap on the bell icon. That'll give you notifications for future readings that I post. If you're interested in the services that I offer as a psychic tarot reader, you can go to www.tonyfoxtarot.com. Plenty of information about who it is that I am, what it is that I do, and how it is that you can access my service. And just on a final note, I release videos each and every week to YouTube, so feel free to browse the ones that have already been posted and keep an eye out for those that I release in the coming weeks. Take care. Thank you. Hi everyone, this is card number 2. This is the White Howlite, and the question today is, when will I get pregnant? So lots to get through. Let's get the cards out on the table, see what's going on. We have Death, 7 of Swords, Justice, 4 of Cups, Strength, 10 of Cups, the Moon, Queen of Cups, Lightning, Garnet. And religious factors, your love life is influenced by your religious upbringing and spiritual path. And I'm drawn through over here to the Queen of Cups and the Moon. And I feel that there is a lot of worry about where things are going in terms of maybe meeting somebody. Initially this takes the form of a relationship focus. I get this sense of loss, actually. I feel that you've lost somebody who has been really close to you. I feel that there has been a loss that has unsettled you, unnerved you. Like death can do that. It can really shake things up to the core, for people, and unravel a process that is really about trying to anchor where you are, what you are, who you are, your place in the world. It really forces us to look at mortality. I think there's a lot of soul searching going on in your world at the moment, really trying to dig deep as to the meaning, as to what's really important to you. And you have this very strong, nurturing energy. There's a lot of love to give. I think that's what you've really drawn from this, is that you have a lot to give. There's a lot to put into something, to nurture something, to care for something. And primarily that is very much about the love for other people. So that can be for the love of a child, but it can also be the love for a relationship, to have somebody central to your life. I don't feel in this reading that I'm not picking up another relationship at this time. I do feel that there are children though. I feel for some of you, not it might not be for everybody, but I do feel for some of you that there actually are children. Perhaps you've already had a relationship and you have children or a child. I feel that you already are a mother or a parent. You know, you could be a father if it's a man. You know, I'm just drawing from the Queen of Cups, which is a more feminine, nurturing energy. But it's not to say that there isn't, you know, paternal love from men. So, a start point is very much about, you know, a soul searching process unearthed by the loss or the confrontation, maybe, of your own mortality. The desire to give something to somebody, whether it's a child or to a relationship. Lightning. It's a really beautiful card. And lightning symbolizes the breaking of old change, the shattering of old belief systems. It's about shifting old perceptions and evolving yourself. Isis, this character here, traditional Egyptian god, is the gatekeeper of love and the expansion of the heart. So what this does is it intensifies your love to share with other people, okay? And what lightning is asking is, you know, for you to take action and to push forward with your passion, which is there's no doubt about it. But it also symbolizes the idea that there is a new person who is about to enter your life on a soul level. The idea of having a child, you know, you don't have to have a child with somebody else. You know, we live in a modern time. You can have a child on your own. You can be independent in terms of doing that. But I feel that for you, perhaps this is about the idea of meeting somebody and having a child. Maybe not for everybody. When you come over to here to Garnet, this is another card that really expands on this idea of the heart. Okay, it's the heart chakra and sacral chakras. It's about commitment. Again, it's about a card of reigniting passion, opening your heart, okay? And your soul to a positive and committed relationship. This energy that's coming from you at this time very much is focused on the idea of joining with another person, having a relationship. But this also, this card here, God also asks you to examine your beliefs that you hold about relationships, and to examine them in a way where you can let go of the belief systems that no longer serve you. This card also says that, you know, if not to let guilt get in the way of your happiness. I wonder if for some of you, if you've lost somebody, you know, maybe the idea of being happy with somebody else, you know, of living life to its fullest, of having love, that perhaps that actually brings up some guilt. It could possibly be. And once again, this is a card that says to be very strong, but also very hopeful, and that there's a relationship just around the corner. So both of these cards are really underscoring this idea of a relationship evolving, of being there just around the corner. And I can see why, because you are a very generous person at a heart level. You know, you really do care about other people. There's something very healing about you as well. Very, very intuitive, highly intuitive individual. Very psychic, I would have said. The cards, both cards, the moon is a card of instincts. It's a card of worry, concern about what's up ahead. But it's all about the intuition, the instinctual drive that actually links us into earthly cycles, cosmic cycles. The Queen of Cups is a card of focus. It's intent on the cup, yeah? It's connected to the water. It's an emotional card, but it's a feeling card. It senses and feels what's going on. It's very tapped into love, universal love, giving, but it's also very focused. Both of these cards combined really provide a very rich experience of connectivity to other people, to what's going on, to understanding how things work without having to rationalize them, It's an instinctual process. Up here to death and the Seven of Swords. I feel this has been, death isn't necessarily literal, though there is an indication I feel that there is some loss around you, maybe for some of you. I feel this is a transitional point in your life. It's a very difficult ending linked to a new beginning. I think there's a lot of dust that's kind of kicked up in the air. I feel that at times that you're feeling very low, maybe some depressive energy there at times, feeling a bit foggy, unable to see how things are going to unfold positively. I get a sense that you're very concerned about what's going on. Maybe looking out in a way where you're very guarded, expecting the worst. But I feel that you are going to meet somebody just around the corner. I feel that this is not too far away. Another person captures your attention. In a way that is possibly a little bit unconventional. Maybe this person doesn't fit the normal type of person that you would actually be attracted to. Maybe your instincts are to pull away, to not get involved with this particular person. But I don't feel that it's going to be black and white. It's not as easy as saying yes or no. There's something that draws you to this person in a way where you feel a need to connect with them and to understand what it is that you are attracted to them about. I feel that a part of what will happen as a process is that you will feel a resistance to them based on what we've already touched on here, both with lightning and garnet. That somehow this person doesn't fit in with your regular belief systems. The idea of a relationship that is supposed to fit into maybe the cultural, social, spiritual, or even religious norms of what it is that you think other people might find acceptable, or what even you find acceptable for yourself. Religious factors. Your love life is influenced by your religious upbringing and spiritual path. So this can be meaning a lot of different things to a lot of different people. Maybe it's just as simple as this person just does not fit into the normal stereotype that you would usually be drawn to. Yeah, based on your upbringing, based on your cultural sensitivities, based on your conditioning, based on the ideas that have imprinted on you, that have been passed on to you in a way that you would expect something quite different. It's really calling on you to let all of that go. At the end of the day, the heart knows what the heart knows. And there's no language that you can necessarily put around that in a way that makes it something that it's not. And I feel that there's going to be a number of months where there's an enormous amount of resistance to connecting in with this person. But I would have said sort of like over a period of time, maybe about 4, 5, 6 months, that there is an opportunity to really unfold something with this person where you begin to understand that this is somebody who you could have a family with. Maybe for some of you, if you do have children, this is somebody who actually could be a parent to your child or to your children. And maybe for others, it's just the idea that this is somebody who, you actually, when you think about it, this is an opportunity to have the future family that you always wanted to have. I do feel that within the space of a year that there is a grounding between the two of you, and that you are very much on the same page in terms of what you're wanting to have a family, and that within a year to 2 years that you would be pregnant. I felt that there was a large family involved with this person. And part of what that could be for some of you is it's the bringing together of your own children and having children with this person. But I felt that, maybe this is sort of 2 to 4 kids, or it could be larger. The idea is that it's a large family. It's a big family. If you don't have children, I felt that this is somebody you could certainly have a number of children with, that this would be a big family, and that you would really find a very joyous connection, that is in stark contrast as to what you initially think and feel about this particular person. It kind of goes from mistrust, a sense of perhaps imbalance, that this is something that could never work, a sense of worry about maybe what other people think, certainly a mistrust of character based on your conditioning from religious or spiritual factors that formulate your ideas about what a relationship should or should not be. But I need to come back down here. I just want to sort of really touch on these two cards again. Lightning is a really beautiful card that signifies the idea of love coming into your world, and the emphasis is very much about shifting your old perceptions, shattering outdated belief systems. I think it's a really beautiful way to sort of articulate what that really means. The lightning strikes the heart in a way where it's explosive. But it really takes away all of those layers that perhaps make the heart rigid, but it also asks you to push forward, to take action, to look out for love. And soul, garnet, it builds on this idea of examining your belief system, with relationships, and letting go of any old beliefs that don't serve you any longer, and also to not feel guilty. But I just want to also touch on this idea of loss. For some of you, I did feel that there was loss there. A part of what this relationship is about is healing and finding a resonance of joy and fluidity. That ability to really to be able to sort of just let go and go with the flow in a way where you're raising the vibrations, raising the frequency in terms of your commitment in a relationship, but also the experience of happiness and love derived through partnership and family. And I felt that this person that you were going to meet was somebody who would really help you to rise up through this very difficult time that I feel that you've been experiencing. I feel loss. I feel depressive energy. I feel uncertainty. I feel some very a lot of negativity that is really based on your core being shaken to the ground. And in many ways, the lightning strike that I see here coming through this particular card, it's about taking things right down to the ground and then letting them build back up in a way that is redefining who it is that you are, rising up from the ashes in many ways. Guys, I hope this reading has made some sense to you, and if it has, please feel free to leave some comments down below. It'd be great to get your feedback. Like and share this video where you can. It would be great to get me out there far and wide. Subscribe, tap on the bell icon. That'll give you notifications for future readings that I post. And if you are interested in my services as a psychic tarot reader, you can go to www.tonyfoxtarot.com. Plenty of information about who it is that I am, what it is that I do, and how it is that you can access my service as a psychic tarot reader. And just on a final note, I release videos to YouTube each and every week, so feel free to browse the ones that I've already posted and keep an ear and an eye out for those that I will be posting in the future. Thank you very much. Take care. Hi everyone, this is card number 3. This is the Bluestone, and today's pick a card reading question is, when will I get pregnant? So let's get the cards straight out and have a look and see what's going on. We've got the Hangman, 7 of Swords, the Lovers, 5 of Wands, the Empress, 2 of Cups, the World, 4 of Wands, Kunzite, children, third eye and heart chakras, sacral chakra, and animal kingdom. So I'm drawn straight up here to the Lovers and the Five of Wands. I feel that you've been really focused on work opportunities. That's quite central. In some ways, yes, because the Lovers is a card of relationships, intimacy, being in love with somebody. But it's paired with the Five of Wands, and the Five of Wands is a card of workplace challenges, banter with other people, socializing, being out and the mix of things from I guess from a social point of view. And as a central point or a start point to the reading, I kind of feel that you have been very focused on workplace activities that have given you a lot of stimulation. So lots of challenges that have been going on with work that have possibly kept your focus, prioritized your focus. The Lovers is also about a card about choices. And I think you have actively chosen workplace opportunities above and beyond the idea of an intimate relationship. It's not that you haven't had your eye out on what's going on socially. I feel like there have been plenty of people around you that have made efforts towards getting your attention. But nobody's sort of stuck out from the crowd. There's been nobody that's sort of been above and beyond anything that's just a bit plain, really. So nothing extraordinary that's caught your eye and stimulated your response in a way that says, oh, wow, I'm really getting a feeling here that this could be somebody who I might like to be in a relationship with. So focus has definitely been more about work. And speaking of work, if I come down to the World and the Four of Wands, the Four of Wands is a card of reward. So it implies hard efforts and, a strong focus in terms of output with work. But it's all about the rewards. The garland implies the fruits of our labor. So I feel that you've been working very hard and that you've reached a point now where you've actually gotten some really good results with the work that you're doing. And it's coupled with the World, which is a card of success and completion and fulfillment. I feel that your work has been very successful, obviously, but also it's given you a lot of fulfillment. It's been a real focal point that has allowed you to be productive and to get some great results that have positioned you in a way where perhaps you're materially or financially in a good position. And also practically speaking, maybe in terms of your skill set, skills and experiences, really put you ahead of the game. You're in a good place. I feel like you have opportunities around you that they're quite far reaching in terms of further success. So you're quite a resourceful person, very hardworking. I think you know how to focus, obviously, and prioritize in a way that actually gets you to where you want to be and to do what you want to do. But you've reached a point where it's not just about work anymore. It's like, yeah, I've kind of ticked that box in some ways, and I can do a lot of what I'm doing maybe a bit on autopilot or in a way where it doesn't require so much of my energy to maintain it. And so that leaves you in a position where you can start to think about the bigger picture in terms of what else is there that will actually give me fulfillment. And that does bring you to the idea of pregnancy, having a child. And if I come up here to the Hangman and the Seven of Swords, I think based on the idea that there is nobody there that you want to have a relationship with at the moment, there's this idea of maybe looking at things differently. The Hangman is a card of restriction. It's, things aren't moving forward with the Hangman. It's like a stop card. And it requires us to look at things from a different perspective in order to get movement. Maybe there's some sacrifices that need to be made. Maybe you need to think outside the box to get what it is that you need. It's coupled with the Seven of Swords, and the Seven of Swords is also a really unconventional card. It's a very resourceful card. It's a little bit mischievous, in that it's doing something in a suspicious way, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's wrong. Sometimes you have to break the rules to get what it is that you want, or to get what you deserve. Not everything is black and white is what I'm saying. So perhaps you're looking at new, different ways, unconventional ways in the idea of having a child and becoming pregnant if there's nobody there for you at the moment in terms of an intimate relationship. You're thinking outside the box and looking at ways to go about this that actually get you what it is that you really want, what you feel that you deserve. So coming down here to the animal kingdom, this is quite an interesting card. It's a card that actually that really encourages you to follow your own path. So it does build on the idea of individuality and uniqueness, but it's also a card about nature and natural cycles. It does ask you to be silent and to be still, to become tuned into to nature, the natural cycles, so that you can begin to look at what's going on from a more connected experience. Animals, from a natural history point of view, they are teachers. They live in harmony with nature, and they provide, a sense of balance in terms of working in harmony with nature. But this is also about resetting your natural state in a way where you get back to some sort of like basic primal instincts that encourage you or give you your confidence to act on what is right for you at this point in time. And the reason why this might come up, if I come up here to the Empress and the Two of Cups, focusing more solely on the Empress is a card of instincts. It's about the maternal drive. It's also about nature. It's the natural wonder of the world to have a child. It's an instinctual process that is innate within any woman to be able to bear a child. It's not so much about the thinking of it, about the rationalization of the process, as it is about a natural process where the body and the instincts take over to build on a sense of things needing to be completed because it's the right time to do so. Okay, whether that means a menstrual cycle or whether that actually means where you're at the moment in your life. Okay, and where you are at in your life at the moment is in a really good place where things have really been set in place. Things are very constructive in terms of the outcomes with rewards from your work. I get a sense that things perhaps materially and financially are in a good place. You have opportunities around you. You've become quite successful within your own right. And, although you've been looking to see what's out there in terms of a partnership with somebody, maybe building on an intimate relationship, to have a child or a family, there isn't anybody who stands out of the crowd. At the same time, the Empress implies a maternal urge to have a child. The animal kingdom is asking you to really quieten down and to connect with nature, to really listen to your primal instincts, because they will give you the confidence to act on what is right as a part of a natural cycle at this point in time. Coming over here to Kunzite. Kunzite is a card that also guides you towards children. Very beautiful card that indicates new beginnings are on their way in terms of the idea of having a child. And it's asking you to remain really positive. Also encourages you to connect with children. So children within your extended family, amongst your friends, maybe within your community. Connecting into children, and this idea is one where, you are energetically linking into a process that helps you to creatively envisage what it is that you really want. It's a reinforcement of something that already feels very natural, instinctually purposeful, and so the picture that I'm really getting here is one that is very much about a thrust towards having a child in a very unconventional and very resourceful way that builds on a very positive point in your life. Coming over here to sacral chakra, this card has an affinity with the ovaries. If there's an imbalance there, you know, there can be some sort of emotional insecurity. Maybe you're feeling that nobody loves you. Maybe a lack of creativity. But, you know, I don't feel that that's actually the case here. I feel that things actually are largely really positive. You know, this is a card that is about pregnancy and the fertility process and the uterus. You know, so it builds on creativity. Coming back over here to the Empress and the Two of Cups. The Two of Cups is a card that has two fairly different meanings, really. There's one side of it which is about platonic relationships or good friendships. Yeah, somebody who is very trustworthy, somebody who is really reciprocating love in a very supportive fashion. Somebody who is there for you if you need them. You know, this is like a really spiritualized, I guess, relationship in a way, where there's a very strong connection to this particular person. It could be like a best friend, yeah, somebody who you know really well, who you can share with in a way where, you know, you're just very supportive of each other. And I felt that there was somebody there for you to support you through the idea of having a child in a way where they would be there for you right throughout that process and beyond, into the idea of you having your own family unit. And maybe that would be at a distance in some cases. But I also felt that, you know, it was about the idea of support, you know, that you weren't alone if you decided to do this, that there would be somebody there that would back you up all the way, that there was somebody there that you could turn to. And that wasn't necessarily about, you know, like a romantic relationship. It was an intimate, good friendship, a relationship that gave you everything that you needed in terms of confidence. Somebody who you could turn to when you really needed somebody to be there for you. I also felt that this was, and this is the case with the Two of Cups. The Two of Cups is very much about consultancy with a health professional. And the caduceus is a card of health. I felt that there was perhaps an opportunity to consult with a health professional who would guide you through the process of fertility, the Empress being fertility. So somebody is there to guide you through this process of becoming pregnant. Yeah. That this was not just about a decision-making process, it was an instinctual process, but, you know, that there was somebody who could guide you through the pitfalls of what it meant. You know, perhaps this means consulting somebody in terms of a fertility program. It also could be, you know, looking at this idea of it being somebody who you could really trust. Perhaps this is also the idea of a donor, you know, like somebody who might be able to give you what you need to be able to become pregnant at that particular level. But look, you know, in any case, I really felt that there was an opportunity for support as well as consultancy to give you what you need to become pregnant in a very individual and unique way that meant that you perhaps didn't need to have a relationship for the immediate term, okay? That the idea of becoming pregnant was essentially off your own back because you're ready to do this now, and that there isn't anybody there suitable for you, but that wasn't a problem. I felt that within the next 12 to 18 months, the idea of becoming pregnant, consulting somebody to become pregnant in terms of either a donor or a fertility program, or maybe you've met somebody who is actually fine with you becoming pregnant with them, but that it's a kind of like a no strings, you know, it's unconventional. There's ways around this, but I felt that within 18 months that you would be pregnant, and that this was a really positive trajectory, a very positive direction for you to head towards. Guys, I hope this reading has made some sense to you, and if it has, please feel free to leave some comments down below. It'd be great to get your feedback. Like and share this video where you can. It'd be great to get me out there far and wide. So hit subscribe and tap on the bell icon. That'll give you notifications for any future readings that I post. And if you're interested in the services that I offer as a psychic tarot reader, you can go to www.tonyfoxtarot.com. Plenty of information about who it is that I am, what it is that I do and how it is that you can access my service as a psychic tarot reader. And just on a final note, I release videos each and every week to YouTube, so feel free to browse the ones that I've already posted and keep an eye out for the ones that I will be releasing in the coming weeks. Thank you. Bye. Hi everyone, this is card number 4. So this is the green fluorite, and today's pick a card reading question is, when will I get pregnant? So let's just jump straight into it and see what's going on. We've got the cards on the table. We're starting with the Tower, 5 of Cups, the Magician, Page of Cups, Empress, 6 of Cups, Wheel of Fortune, 2 of Pentacles, Source, Moonstone, Moon Cycles, Crown Chakra, and Divine Will, Let Go of Fear. Now, as a start point, I want to come over here to the Wheel of Fortune, and I feel the two of you are, well, I feel that you're in a relationship with somebody, that's for sure. Very close, very connected with each other, really buoyant relationship, very supportive. Lots in common there, very spiritually connected with each other. Yeah, there's a real thing about positivity between the two of you. I think you bounce off of each other in a really positive way. You keep each other afloat. And there's a sense of potential there. You know, as a couple, I would have said, you know, this is a real dynamic pairing where you feel like anything's possible together. It's lovely stuff. And I feel that the both of you are ready to have a child and that you're already making attempts to do that. So you're both on the same page. It's full steam ahead. Wheel of Fortune, that's a card of chances. It's about taking risks. It's about rolling the dice and seeing where things land. It's also about time periods, you know, time sequences often, you know, 7, 14, 21 years, a stretch of time perhaps. And the 2 of Pentacles can also be a card of financial opportunity. Perhaps things are really in a really good place. You know, things are buoyant for the both of you on a financial, from a financial point of view. And you can make this stretch to have a child. I feel like for some of you, there's already a child there. I think, you know, a big part of what I feel is that there is already an existing child. And maybe this is about having another child and not waiting too long, you know, wanting to have a child close to the age of this particular child so there isn't too much of a gap. You know, things are in a good place. You know, maybe for some of you already have a child, so there's a sense of wanting to have a child close to this child now, you know, in terms of their age, not too much of a time difference. So it's all about opportunity, trying to maximize where you're at this point in time. Coming up here to the Tower and the 5 of Cups. I feel that for a lot of you, there's been like a number of failed attempts at becoming pregnant, one after the other. And this is more leading up to this particular point, and you know, like it's just been really destabilizing. I think you both lost your confidence a lot from what's happened. For some of you, it might also be about miscarriage. Could even be multiple miscarriages, you know, one miscarriage after another, or just a miscarriage. But I do feel that there is some loss there, a sense of grief. And in any case, even if it's not a miscarriage, you know, if it's just failed attempts, there is also grief there as well. It's like, gosh, we just keep on trying to have a baby. And every time we try to have a baby, it's just not happening. You know, what's going on? You know, I get this thing about failure. I mean, you know, feeling like I'm a failure. The both of you, you know, you're both taking it on equally as bad as each other. I think you've both been to sort of like quite a difficult place in your relationship as a result of that. It's been very destabilizing. I want to come down here to Source. You know, Source is a card of prayer. You know, it's about strengthening your faith in life and divine consciousness through the active process of prayer. You it's about identifying positive energy within yourself, but also externally to you through tapping into, like a source, whether that means God or some sort of divine consciousness, whether that means, something much more practical, maybe it's actually tapping into something that's tangible for you, earth, nature, animals. But, the idea of prayer is one that strengthens your spiritual state. It's through that positive engagement of building on hope, building on a sense of greater purpose, something that is external to you and beyond you, but also within you and linked to you. It's really important to feed from that energy, to pull that energy in a way that bolsters you, because that will balance your physical and mental condition. And it's really important, especially if you're both trying to become pregnant, okay? But I do feel that although it's been really difficult for you, you've kind of hit the ground running. It's like, okay, let's get on with this. I want to have a child. These two cards here represent you, the Magician and the Page of Cups. I think you're a really outgoing person, very fun. There's a real youthful nature to you. Very creative. I would have said, I get a crafty feel, like you're really good with your hands, perhaps, really good at putting pieces together, really good at making things. Maybe even making things to sell. There's something very hands-on about you, very tactile. I think you're fantastic with children as well. Very good at motivating children, very good at tapping into that childlike energy. Good at leading children, maybe working with children even. I think you've got a lot of different skills and experiences, maybe even working with children for some of you. Anyway, the Magician is a card of motivation. It's about tapping into divine consciousness. It's about channeling into spirit. Okay, so there's a definite sense that you are spiritually minded. Page of Cups is a card of new beginnings. It's also a card of having a child. So once again, this idea of maybe already having a child, wanting a sibling for this particular child. Maybe it's also having to get over what it is that's happened because you have a child, and you don't want to be sort of showing that grief, that sense of loss to somebody who is childlike. Another thing here I'm also picking up is this idea of holistic health, mind, body, soul. I think you're very tapped into this whole concept of mind, body, soul. Maybe you're also looking to address this idea of not being able to become pregnant through alternative approaches, acupuncture, herbalism, homeopathy, supplements, meditation, I feel like you're looking at all different angles, trying to get on top of what it is that you're doing here. Coming down here to Moonstone, really important card that links into what I've just identified here. It's a card of identifying with your biological rhythms and cycles. It's about listening to the physical body and the intuition, really going in within yourself. It really calls on you to focus on relaxation and sleep. Deep sleep in particular, because it rejuvenates and heals. And I think in particular, especially with this failed attempt to become pregnant or perhaps, miscarriage, it's really important to rest the body, going deep within the unconscious state of sleep and allowing your body to rebalance, to nurture itself, to heal itself. This is also linked to the crown chakra as well. So again, it's back into that higher purpose. This whole reading is really about identifying with higher purpose and placement and understanding that things happen for a reason. To have trust, to have faith, to have belief, that everything is going to be okay. Coming over here to divine will. It builds on what I've just suggested. It's, about surrendering to the process, letting go of anything that's, about controlling an outcome. And it's also about being open to new approaches to receive your desired outcome. So if you are seeing things from a holistic sort of, health perspective, or looking to kind of engage in that kind of approach, then it's really a really good time to be doing that, to be opening your mind up to different ways of actually handling your health, your holistic health. But it's also asking you to trust that you are exactly where you're supposed to be right now, yeah, and accepting that there's a divine plan, you know, surrendering to that process, you know, divine assistance, divine connection. It's all linked in. Now, coming over here to the Empress and the Six of Cups. The Empress is a card of fertility. It's about motherhood and nurturing. It's the instinctual urge to become pregnant, okay? You know, the question is, you know, when will I get pregnant? And I feel that a part of what's still there in the back of your mind is that maybe there is something wrong, because the Six of Cups is about having children. You know, it's about a family, you know, it's about kids. But in the background, there's a figure there. And, you know, it's almost like a little bit of a red flag. You know, what's going on behind all of this? You know, have I got my rose-tinted glasses on? Is everything as it seems, or is there something there that's not quite right? So I think you're trusting that, you know, you want to become a parent. You're trusting in this maternal process, this instinctual process, but at the same time, you're not fully convinced. And once again, I think it's really important just to let all of that go, to trust, to have faith. Yeah. I feel that within 4 months, you actually will become pregnant. Within 4 months, you will have another child. I feel that the opportunity to unfold this is really, you know, you're really right on that moment where it's about to all unfold, and it's happening just ahead of this time, because that's the time that it's meant to. I feel that everything that's going on from you from a health and holistic point of view is all in place. You know, there is receptivity there. I think, you know, from a sort of a maternal and instinctual point of view, the time is right for you. It's about relaxing into this particular process, letting go of what it is that's been happening in terms of failed attempts or perhaps miscarriage. Okay, keeping in tune with your natural cycles, keeping linked into divine consciousness, yeah, active prayer, positive engagement with everything that's potentially going to unfold in front of you, a sense of really looking after yourself, you know, from all sorts of angles, from a holistic point of view. But I do feel that within 4 months, you know, you will become pregnant and that there will be another child. So quite a beautiful reading in many ways. You're on the right course. Things are heading in the right direction. You've got a great relationship, and that's so much of what needs to happen in order for you to become pregnant. The two of you are on the same page. You're in balance. You're in unison. It's just a matter of relaxing through this particular process and having faith. It's going to happen. Guys, I hope this reading has made some sense to you, and if it has, please do leave some feedback down below. It'd be great to get your comments. So like and share this video where you can. It'd be great to get me out there far and wide. Hit subscribe, tap on the bell icon. That'll give you notifications for any future readings that I post. If you're interested in the services that I offer as a psychic tarot reader, you can go to www.tonyfoxtarot.com. Plenty of information about who it is that I am, what it is that I do, and how it is that you can access my service as a psychic tarot reader. And just on a final note, I release videos each and every week to YouTube, so feel free to browse those that I've already posted and keep an eye out for the ones that I will be posting in the coming weeks. Thank you very much. Take care. Hi everyone, this is card number 5 and this is the red carnelian, and today's reading is when will I get pregnant? Now, cards out on the table, let's jump straight into it. We've got the Temperance, Ten of Pentacles, Strength, Two of Cups, the Chariot, Queen of Pentacles, the Fool, Four of Cups, Medicine, Rutilated Quartz, Home, Root Chakra, and Lead the Way, Light Your Own Path. And I'm drawn straight over here to Temperance and the Ten of Pentacles. I felt that you've got sort of like a really strong involvement with your wider family. I think both sides of each other's families, I kind of feel there's a really strong presence here. They have a lot to do with your lives in a way where at times it can be just maybe a little bit overbearing. I kind of felt that there was a lot of pressure there, a lot of pressure from each other's families. Some great expectations in terms of what it is that you both should be doing. Perhaps they've got really high standards for the both of you, for each of you. Which in on itself is not a bad thing. But perhaps also that expectation is a part of an inherent idea of what they would pass on to you. You know, often this is a card, the Ten of Pentacles is a card of strings that are attached with family. You know, families are a resource, no matter which way you look at it, whether it's borrowing money from them, getting support when you have your own family, you know, babysitting, maybe opportunities with jobs. It can be anything, but often what will happen as a result of that is that it will become a more complicated process of having people in your life that have a stake in what it is that you're doing. It's also a card of inheritance, so you know it's about money coming down the line. In any case, I feel that there is a lot of pressure from both sides of your families about what it is that they expect of you both and how it is that you should be moving forward in your lives. Perhaps they've been watching on very closely about, you know, setting things up from a financial point of view, your housing situations, and also around the idea of having a child. And I think Temperance is a card of moderation. It's about coming to terms with things. It's about balance and flow. And I feel the two of you, in terms of you and your partner, you've managed both of your families very well. I think you're both very sensitive about what it is that they're like. You've come over here to strengthen the Two of Cups. I feel these two cards represent the both of you. I think the one thing that you have with each other is something that you don't have with either of your families. I think there's a really unconditional love between the two of you. I didn't get that from your families. I didn't feel that they were supportive in a way that was heartfelt. I think they're very supportive at face level. I think they're very good to the both of you, but at the same time, sometimes it is conditional. It can be very, very political. But the two of you have found like a sense of refuge within each other. I think you two have a great respect for each other. I don't think that you give anything with any expectation to each other. I think that the two of you are a really lovely couple. And yeah, I think coming over here to the Chariot and Queen of Pentacles, I think these two cards reflect you in terms of your character. I think you're a very driven individual. I think you are really focused on successful outcomes. You're very results-based. You kind of have this enviable ability to just sort of lay down a track towards a goal, and you just roll into it in a way where you chip away at it, you know, with consistency. You're very good at managing yourself, managing your goals. You're very good at project work. You know, I can really see that you're very focused and you know how to just kind of like pinpoint something and you know, take the results in terms of accomplishing them successfully. A very financially focused person. I think you're very good with money. Queen of Pentacles is a card of finances, resources. I think you want the good things in life. Perhaps the both of you have families that, you know, have instilled that in you in terms of focusing on, you know, those kind of traditional values that are around finances and security. I think these are sort of very inherent in you, and I think you're very good at managing money. But this is also about housing. The Chariot reflects housing. Queen of Pentacles is a card of creating a nesting or nurturing ground for children. So it's not just about the idea of having kids and giving them love. It's actually about something much bigger. It's about what you'll pass on to them inherently. Once again, this thing about inheritance comes through. You know, I feel that these values are very strong within you. But you've been very driven, very focused on this idea of housing, or at least your home environment, and getting everything in place to have a child. There's been a lot of pressure there on yourself. I think you can be quite hard on yourself, actually. I don't feel that you've taken any time out to relax. It's all been, you know, push, 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 all systems go. Coming down here to Rutilated Quartz. This is a card that says, home is where the heart is. And, you know, you need to focus your attention on home and where you live, which is very much about where I feel things are at for you at the moment. But it does ask you to ask yourself, are you happy with your home? Is there any changes that need to be made? Do you need to move? If that was the case, maybe you're in the process of focusing to move into a house. But what this card highlights is the idea that home should be a place of healing and refuge and positive interaction for socializing. I don't feel that you're quite in that place at the moment. I think it's more about structuring the environment, getting it all sorted. I don't feel like you've achieved a place that gives you a sanctuary to resort to. And I think you're under a lot of pressure from external sources, i.e. family. Also, the expectations within yourself to be a particular way, to produce particular results, to get to a certain point. I feel like there's a lot of tick boxes in your life. Yeah, a lot of checklists. Now, if I come down here to the Fool and the Four of Cups, I feel that there has been repeated attempts to become pregnant, but it hasn't been happening for you, and you're really fed up with it. I think you're also fed up with the pressure of other people trying to understand what's going on in terms of the outcome of becoming pregnant. So more pressures have been building on you. The Fool is the card of new beginnings. It's about a road less travel. It's a very independent, individualistic card. It's an inspirational card. It's saying, I want to let everything go. I don't want all the pressures. I don't want any complications in my life. I just want to, just take a chance and go and do it my own way, and not essentially feel tied down. I'm fed up with this situation. I want freedom. I don't want to be bogged down by anything. So that kind of falls into the camp of the pressures that you're under in terms of expectation from other people, expectation maybe from yourself, but also this idea about becoming pregnant. I mean, maybe you're getting tired of the idea that this is something that becomes a pressure as well. Lead the way, light your own path. This is a really interesting card because it's a card that indicates, it builds on this idea of being conditioned to behave and act in a certain way and having to please other people. It's about other people dictating terms to you. Yeah. And often there can be personality conflicts around this card. It's very confronting in as much as do you actually react in a very instinctive way, which might be to run away from the problem, or do you actually face it head on, either within yourself or with the person who is causing the problem? Which may have something to do with what's going on over here in terms of the Ten of Pentacles that I've been describing before about your family, other people, imposing expectations, imposing their conditioning to behave and act in a certain way. This really needs to be looked at because it has an enormous pressure on you as a knock-on effect to how it is that you think things should actually be taking place. It puts you under pressure, and it puts pressure on you, but it also puts the pressure on achieving something that can be at times a bit unrealistic. I don't feel there's any space here for you to relax and enjoy yourself. I think you have a really lovely relationship that's very supportive, but I don't feel that you have achieved, a level of accomplishment where you feel that you can actually stop to just enjoy it. It's going from one thing to the next. It's about creating security. It's creating a home environment that's supportive and nurturing to having a child, and then it's about getting pregnant. There's a real lack of organic process here that just kind of goes with the flow. Coming down here to Medicine, really, really interesting card because this is about healing. There's a lot of healing cards in this particular reading, and I'm going to point those out. We've got Temperance, Strength, Two of Cups, and we've got Medicine. So we've got 4 healing cards here. I actually feel that you have an enormous amount of healing power within yourself. I don't know whether you've ever looked at this. Maybe you are a healer. Two of Cups, definitely healing, card that indicates consultations with other people. It could also be that you're in consultation with a physician, a doctor about becoming pregnant. But it's also about the healing energy that's around you. It's coupled with strength, which is another healing card. And strength is about raising energy up. It's about refining the healing power that's within you and around you. I feel that there is pause to seek healing from a more holistic point of view, not just from a conventional side of things. I feel that this is, if I come down here to medicine, this is a card that's actually asking you to harness the power of natural remedies. Now that can be homeopathy, acupuncture, traditional herbal medicines. It could be energy work such as Reiki or meditation. It's really asking on you to, diversify your approach towards healing yourself. And I feel that a part of what this is about getting you to a more balanced point of being in terms of what you're trying to achieve here, to balance out the pressures that are being placed upon you, both externally and also within yourself. Getting you to a point where you can begin to relax and enjoy your accomplishments, maybe to confront what's going on in terms of these external pressures, either by individuals or just the complex of what's going on in terms of it inherently being something that you're from. But I feel that the question, when will I get pregnant, is a really important one. And I feel that it will be in 1 year's time you will become pregnant. And that within this space of time, within this next year, that it was really important for you to focus on nurturing ground for yourself. Come back down here to Rudelated Quartz, home, root chakra. Enjoy your home. Focus on it as a place of healing and refuge and positive interaction for socializing. Build on this unconditional love aspect of what you're enjoying within your relationship. Harness that. Yeah, that's actually where you need to be. That's an organic process that gives you balance and gives you soul food, feeds you the nurturing that you need. I don't feel like you're getting the nurturing that you need from your extended family. I feel that they do care. I'm not saying that they don't care, but I just don't feel that they're giving you what you need to be supported at a holistic, energetic, spiritual level. I feel you have spiritual connection with your partner. I think this is very balanced, but I think that you need to expand on this in a way where it's more supported by a holistic approach to your health in conjunction with conventional medicine. And then over this next year, that was very important for you to actually just let things go and relax and enjoy yourself. Not to feel any pressure, not to feel any expectation. Yeah, enjoy your accomplishments, enjoy your own company, be happy with what you've actually achieved. And it will come. It will come within a year's time. It's going to be there. The Queen of Pentacles, it's a card of plenty. The Rabbit, it's a fertility card. Yeah. But just don't be driven to actually achieve that. Allow that process to be something that takes place in a very natural way. I hope this reading has made some sense to you, and if it has, please feel free to leave some comments down below. It'd be great to get your feedback. Hit subscribe, tap on the bell icon. That'll give you notifications for any future readings that I post. Like and share this video where you can. It'd be great to get me out there far and wide. If you're interested in the services that I offer as a psychic tarot reader, you can go to www.tonyfoxtarot.com. Plenty of information about who it is that I am, what it is that I do, and how it is that you can access my service as a psychic tarot reader. And just on a final note, if you would like to browse the videos that I've already posted there on YouTube, plenty to have a look at, and keep an eye out for those up and coming over the next few weeks. Take care. Thanks very much.